Hey there everyone, I'm Marco Couvet, the host of Expat Experts podcast, and this video is extracted out of a longer interview with Natalie Gushino, a Russian who lived in Ireland and now in Greece after falling in love with a Greek guy. She also discovered her passion for photography and now is her profession.
So at that point of time, you started you jumped from being on a family doing au pair, but then start working in there. I suppose you start meeting people, having friends, having a circle there.
Absolutely.
Did that influence the fact of because if you want to say, I stay a little bit longer, maybe you stay 3-4 years, but 6 years, it's quite a long time. It's like defining your 20s actually, if you end.
Yeah, that was my 20s actually. It was my crazy 20s, at least, the level of craziness that, was for me. I got friends there, I got relationships there, I was changing the jobs, moving apartments. I started to have a life of my own there. Again, I think back then in Russia, the situation with the work and the money was quite difficult.
Okay.
And working in Ireland, even in a supermarket, I could support myself, I could support my living, I could travel.
Okay.
So this is what I didn't want to change. And then I met a guy.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, I met my first husband there, who was from Chile.
Okay.
I got married. And at some stage, after some years, they have changed the laws when it comes to the students in Ireland. It became much more difficult. So I decided to leave. And, we had a plan, to separate for a while, but then come back together, which never happened. And basically that's it. Once I left Ireland, I could not dare go back and...
Okay. All of this time you were in Galway or you were in...
Yeah, in Galway.
Okay.
It was all time in Galway. Dublin seemed to me just a big, very big city for me. And Galway was beautiful, it was cozy, I had friends there. I don't drive, so for me it was like cycling, all over the place was just perfect. Yeah.
And getting wet under the rain every day.
The funny thing is, I don't remember recalling this anger for the weather. Obviously it was raining all winter long.
Yeah.
And the Irish way, rain is something different. It's not just pouring. Sometimes it drizzles. Sometimes, it's just mist.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pours. There are 50 shades of rain over there, but it never seemed to bother me. I always think that because I was young, maybe. And when you're young, you take the things differently.
Sure.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was just perfect.
So in that time, you met this Chilean guy, and then you just had already been there 6 years on a visa of student. So you were studying these 6 years continuously.
I was studying, but when I say studying, I was trying to take different courses which were not so expensive in order just to extend my visa.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was all related with languages or different stuff?
Different stuff. I was studying tourism, I was studying computers, I was studying programming, I was studying more language, because basically in English you can have these different, levels of language.
Yeah.
So I took my first certificate and then it was, more advanced. So you can do it for quite a while.
Yes.
And that's what I did.
No, I'm asking because we haven't talked about it yet, but you are currently a professional photographer, which is a little bit far away from this linguistics approach or lifestyle, and we will definitely talk about the photography in more detail in the second part of the episode. But it seems like you were gathering a lot of different knowledge and taking a little bit of path. Wasn't it so convincing that the idea of becoming an English teacher, or were you not 100% sure of what to do at that point of life?
Look, good question. I did work as a teacher when I came back from Ireland to Russia.
Okay.
Because obviously I had a really good level of English, which is hard. At that stage, it was hard to find in my city, because a lot of people would call themselves a teacher, but their language was more, how would you call it? I could talk in English. They could teach in English, they could teach you English, but they could not teach you the conversation, which I had.
Yeah.
So I started to do the private lessons.
So they didn't speak an English, like in an English way, like in a...
Exactly.
Okay.
So like I was teaching people, how to talk, because like most of the time the problem was like, I know English, I don't speak English. And this is why they would come to me, we would have conversations, I would give them different tasks. So I was for that purpose. I was trying to make them talk in English.
Okay.
Yeah. Never at school though, because I'm a person who hates systems, who hates rules, who hates all this, I hate rules, so I was private all the time. I wanted to do it on my own terms, on my own way, wear what I want, teach what I want. So.
Nice. So you always did like private teaching, school private teaching.
I should
No worries.
have the microphone.
Forget that you have a microphone. That's all right. What did your parents think about like you suddenly theoretically, your parents, your family in general, like suddenly we sent our daughter like for 1 year abroad and she stayed like 6 years. Like, how did you handle that situation? Like,
Look, they were sad. Like they were sincerely sad because we were attached. We had really they were strict parents, but they were really loving parents as well. We had great relationship. But what they always did, they never stopped me from doing the things I wanted to do.
okay.
They would always be so supportive. Now that I'm a parent myself and I think, about these things, they would be like, if we can do this for you, if we can help you, we will do it.
If you liked this short video out of the full episode, you can find the link to it around here and in the description below. Of course, if you are also interested in checking out other episodes, please subscribe and like.